Well, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a little bit of a different video. I've talked about doing it for a while now and I think it's finally time. So I'm in a different spot in my house. Yeah, we're going to talk about 2020 and we're going to talk about 2020 and just kind of, yeah, how it's gone for me and what led us to get a puppy and all that good stuff. So I guess it's not really a secret to anybody that this year has been, well, it's been one for the books. That's for sure. You're gonna hear the dogs barking downstairs and that's okay. I'm not wearing any makeup for a reason. So, 2020, it's been great. I am a hairstylist and a bartender. That's what I do for work. So, earlier this year, I guess I should just say how the year started out. It started, I guess Christmas Eve would be the best way to start it. I was coming home from work and I work late. Obviously I work when the bars close, so I leave, and I'm not a drinker. I would never drink and drive. I don't do any of that. But on Christmas Eve, it was about 2:45 in the morning, and I was on my way home. I stopped at a 4-way stop sign. Drunk driver hit me, rear-ended my car, brand new car that I had just gotten in May, and pretty much almost totaled it. So I was lucky enough to be able to drop it off the day after Christmas. Thought it was going to get fixed pretty quickly, and it ended up being in the shop for 2 months because of the extensive damage that was done to it. I got hit by a pickup truck and the driver took off. So that was a lot of fun. I spent the first 2 months of 2020 without my car, driving a rental, and in the middle of the winter in Michigan, that's a lot of fun. So I finally got it back. I guess it was a little after Valentine's Day, and everything, I had to bring it back twice because they didn't do it right. Anyway, I got it back a little bit after Valentine's Day. I was able to kind of have smooth sailing between Valentine's Day and, the 16th of March. And the 16th of March, there's an executive order by the state legislature that we were going to be in, it wasn't the stay-at-home order yet, but they were shutting down bars and restaurants. So what I work in is like a neighborhood pub, and we do have food, so we are a restaurant, and we had to shut down on March 16th, the day before the busiest day of the year, which is really kind of crappy. But luckily I was able to apply for unemployment, and I got it seamlessly. And then salons shut down 5 days later, I think it was. So I lost both of my jobs in that week. And the day before, restaurants and bars shut down. Okay. The day before restaurants and bars shut down, my dog, we have a few dogs, but my female, she's a Great Pyrenees, she started throwing up. And I just remember my husband was messaging me that the dog was sick and that she wouldn't stop throwing up, and that he was worried about her. Anyway, he was irritated that day because he had to keep cleaning up vomit. And we have a lot of dogs, and vomit happens. It just does. So does poop, so does pee. It happens. But it didn't stop Monday. It didn't stop Tuesday. It didn't stop so I made her an appointment to go into the vet, and I brought her in on Thursday, and Thursday was actually the day before salon shut down. So brought her in, they did blood work, they did x-rays, they did a whole array of tests, and and it came back that she had pancreatitis, and they set us up with some prescription food, some prescription medicine, and some stuff to try to get her back on track. They said that eating fatty foods could cause it, and that we should just be careful about what we're feeding her. And she loved people food. She got people food all the time, so it wasn't really anything that seemed really strange to us. So she started doing better for a couple of days. She was on painkillers, she was on some anti-nausea medicine, and she started eating. She started doing good for a couple of days. She still jumped up on the couch next to me. And see, that's why this is so hard, because she was always next to me. She slept with me. She sat next to me. She was always next to me. Always. And 2 weeks went by, and she started getting bad again. She started vomiting again. And I was really frustrated. So she seemed like she was in a lot of pain, and I didn't know what to do. So we brought her back to the vet. And they said she was really sick, and that she was in bad shape, and the pancreatitis was really bad, and they hospitalized her for 2 days while they gave her fluids. They encouraged her to eat prescription canned food, and they did more blood work on her, and the blood work came back again, pancreatitis. And they just tried to give her a little extra TLC in the hospital for a couple of days. Meanwhile, this whole time, I don't have a job because of the stay-at-home order. So everything is shut down, and I have to drop her off curbside. I can't even go in. Okay, so we get her back 2 days later, spoil the living crap out of her, give her all the love and everything that she deserved, and sorry, I'm not looking at the camera a lot because I'm still not okay. Anyway, moving forward, they gave us more medication. They gave us prescription food. And they told us just to kind of let her get some rest and to take it easy. Okay, we can do that. 2 weeks go by. And obviously the medication's worn off. We're done with the antibiotics. We're done with the painkillers. We're still giving her the prescription food. And she takes a turn for the worse. I was giving her a bland diet. So I was supposed to be giving her boiled chicken and rice too. And at the time, it was right at the beginning of all this shutdown stuff. And, well, you know how everybody was about food. There was not chicken or rice to be found anywhere in any store. So I'm like traveling around daily trying to find fresh chicken and rice that I can make for my sick dog. I can't even get toilet paper for myself. So that's going on. 2 weeks after she was hospitalized for 2 days again, she was horribly sick again, and she ended up with bloody diarrhea. And everything was just going through her, and it wasn't digested, and it was really bad. So I brought her back to the vet again. And meanwhile, my cat's not doing the greatest, but we'll get into that. So we bring her back to the vet, and this is 4 weeks after the first time that we had her in. So we went in the first time, 2 weeks later, and then 2 weeks later again. And I paid to have like a $400 blood panel done on her, where they had to send it out to a lab and had a bunch of tests done on her just to try to figure it out. I'm like, is this really pancreatitis? Because she's not doing well at all. She's not responding to these medications. They don't seem to be helping. And they just say that she's probably going to need an indefinite supply of these antibiotics to kind of help regulate the gut health, help regulate the pancreas, and take down any infection that would be in there. So I'm like, okay. And then we get a prescription for like long-term prescription food and some more painkillers because pancreatitis is extremely painful. Anyway, moving on. She's starting to do okay. She's eating the prescription food. She actually really likes it. She started gobbling it down right away. And at this time, my cat started not doing it. He just all of a sudden stopped eating. And I'd had him, his name is Bob, and he was just an orange and white big old tomcat that came with half a tail. So I called him Bob. Anyway, he was a rescue. He stops eating, so I bring him to the vet, and they do a full thing on him, and they say that he's got some pretty bad teeth in there. But during his health exam, they realized that he's got a heart murmur, and they tell me that they don't suggest doing, sorry, my nose is running. They don't suggest doing a dental on him because with the heart murmur, it can cause heart failure, and it would probably make the situation worse. It's okay. We have to feed him. Also, he had a prescription diet for a long time because he had urinary tract issues, and he would build up crystals in his urinary tract. So I had to get a case of canned food for him, something that he could eat and that he wouldn't hurt his teeth because he ate crunchy food before that. So during the next 4 weeks, he declines. He won't eat. I think he started building up ulcers in his throat. I started syringe feeding him, and at the same time, Sally, she was eating at first, and then she stopped eating, or ate less and less and less and less progressively throughout the next 4 weeks. And same thing with Bob. Anyway, Bob just got skinnier and skinnier. I'm syringe feeding him, and it got to the point where he wouldn't even swallow the food that I was syringe feeding him. He would vomit it back up, and it got all over his fur, and he just became emaciated. He was not doing well at all. So on it was May 16th, I made the decision that we needed to bring him in and say goodbye. So said goodbye to Bob May 16th, and he was right around 16 years old, and I had him for about 14 years. Almost 14 years. Anyway, moving right along. Hits just keep coming. Sally, in the meantime, she's still not eating, and she's acting dopey, and because she doesn't really want to do anything. She's hiding in the kitchen. She's not sitting next to me anymore. She's not jumping up in the bed to sleep with me anymore. She's not doing the things that she's always done. So 3 days after Bob passed away, I brought Sally back to the vet, and I'm like, this pancreatitis, Nana's just not getting better. She's not eating. She's losing a lot of weight. She's very skinny. I don't know what to do. I need options. I need things that I can do to help her feel better. So here it comes. It's May 19th. Still can't go in with her. I'm sitting in my car, waiting for them to call me. And they look her over, and they call me, and they did blood work, waiting for the blood work to come back, and they were setting up an ultrasound. Blood work comes back. They call me. It's metastatic cancer. So I'm I'm not blaming the vets. This is not the vet's fault at all, because pancreatic cancer is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, and it is undetectable until it metastasizes, and that's why it's always a death sentence. That's why people don't survive this thing, and it's just extremely rare in animals. And it had metastasized to her liver and her lymph nodes. She was fully jaundiced at this point, and she's a big fluffy dog. I couldn't see the yellow. I couldn't see the yellow skin. But part of the reason I brought her in is I said that she was urinating bilirubin. She was, it was bright yellow. And that was one of the reasons that I brought her in. And at that point, she was in full liver failure. So they set up an ultrasound because we were trying to think of other things that it could be. Could it be leptospirosis? Could it be something else that is attacking her liver and causing these numbers to go out of control? And nope. The ultrasound came back, and at that point, her entire liver was riddled with tumors, and within 4 weeks, it had gotten to the point where she was dying, and it was going to happen soon. So we picked her up later that afternoon. I called my husband, told him everything. He left work. He works in healthcare, so he was still working through everything, and man. On my way home, before he left work, while she was there waiting for her ultrasound, I screamed the whole way home. People that were driving next to me probably thought I was a lunatic, but my cat just died 3 days earlier. This has been a really great year. So anyway, we pick her up, we take her home. They give us some liver supplements and some medication, and they tell us to feed her a healthy diet. Basically tell us that there's no hope, that if we want to set up an oncology visit with a doggy oncologist, that they would give us a referral. We thought about that for a couple of days, but it just seemed like, or a couple of days. It wasn't even a couple of days. It was like a day. Sorry. We get her home. She doesn't want to eat that food. She doesn't want anything to do with it. And this girl, I'll give you her backstory. She was a working Great Pyrenees. She guarded goats on a farm for the first 2 years of her life, and her owner passed away. I already had another Great Pyrenees. So actually one of my hair clients called me, and she was like, hey, I have this friend, and her brother-in-law passed away. They have Great Pyrenees on their farm. The other 3 Great Pyrenees that they have died. They're suspected to have been poisoned by a neighbor. Would you be interested in taking her? And I'm like, I would have to meet her first. You know, I kind of went through this whole stupid thing where I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll take her. Anyway, I drive out there. It's 2 hours away. I go out there on Valentine's Day in the middle of a snowstorm. It's white out conditions. And I see Sally, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking her. She's awesome. Put her in my car, drove 2 hours back home, white knuckle, white out blizzard with this dog that had never been in a car before. Only time she had ever been in a car before when she was a puppy and they picked her up. Otherwise, they had a farm vet that came out and took care of all of her veterinary care. She adapted really well to house life. She learned from our other dogs how to go outside and go to the bathroom. She potty trained really quickly at 2 years old with never being potty trained. And the first time she ever went up on the couch, she looked at us and her face lit up like, what? I have a couch to sleep on? I don't have to sleep in a goat pen? And my husband, he had McDonald's one night, and he was eating French fries, and she was sitting next to him on the couch, and he had the bag sitting on the floor. He gave her a French fry, and the same look on her face. She was like, huh? Well, that's just the best thing I've ever had. She looks at him, she looks at the bag on the floor, she looks at him, she looks at the bag on the floor. She just picks it up very gently with her teeth, sits the bag on the couch next to him, and like gave him her best little like pretty face. And from then on, it was like Sally got French fries. There was nothing no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She got French fries. So after we got the bad news and everything, and they wanted us to feed her a healthy diet, they said that there was no hope, that she was going to die, that it was all over about the crying at that point. I was like, yeah, she's not getting that crappy food that she doesn't want to eat. I'm going to give her something. I'm going to make her eat. I'm going to give her something to keep her, with food in her belly. So I got delivery of a bunch of cheeseburgers and French fries from McDonald's, and that's what she ate for the last few days until she wouldn't eat that anymore. And then I fed her baby food, and then she wouldn't eat that anymore. And 6 days. 6 days after the diagnosis. It was Memorial Day. And we brought her in and said goodbye. That's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. She was such a special dog. She was very sweet, and that's what I called her, Sweet, Sweet Sally. And she had such a gentle personality. She was my baby, and I miss her, I think, more than I've ever missed anything. It's hard to sleep when you don't have your best friend next to you, She would sleep right up against me, full spoon position. And, she's my best friend. So, luckily a week later, Michigan's stay-at-home order expired, and we got to be able to go out and do things because, I could not stay at home anymore. Anyway, May 25th, she passed away. June 8th, I went back to work, and I've been working since then, and today, again in Michigan, restaurants and more bars are closed for dine-in service. We don't do outdoor. We don't have enough room. We're a very small little pub. Anyway, so today I'm out of work again, and everybody's healthy. Everybody's healthy, which is probably the best thing that I have going right now. And gosh, I guess it was probably back in September. It had to have been in September. I saw a post from a Great Pyrenees Rescue in Wisconsin, and they had gotten a surrender in. That was a farm dog that didn't want to be a farm dog. She didn't want to guard goats. She wanted to be around people, and she was a year old, and she was surrendered to the rescue, and lo and behold, she was pregnant. She was pregnant, and she wound up having 10 puppies, 2 boys and 8 girls. And when they were posting pictures of them, and I just kind of kept looking. I'm like, I'm not ready. And then when they were about 4 weeks old, they posted pictures of each of them individually, and they had given them names and everything. And one of them in particular, she's one of the smaller ones. She had a hard time feeding. They had a bottle feeder at first, and she just had the sweetest face. And I melted when I saw her. I sent her a picture to my husband, and he said, "What do we have to do to get her?" Oh, I forgot to add. Let's backtrack a little bit to July. So I started working again in June, and back in July, I mean, sometimes our dogs are jerks and they won't come in. We had sometimes the door will be cracked a little bit while I'm waiting to get one of them in. We had another cat, and she's a little black cat. Her name is Penny, and you'll see her in one of the pictures I have at the end. She ran away. She ran away July 11th, and we spent 2 months searching for her. Had a lead on a bunch of different black cats. We went and looked at every single one of them. None of them were her. She took off. She scooted out the door and never came back. And we still look every time somebody says they found a black cat. We're hoping that it's her, but I think that somebody found her and somebody kept her. We posted everything on Facebook, Nextdoor. We put up flyers everywhere. Somebody kept her. Somebody found her. Somebody kept her, because we haven't found any deceased black cats either. So, and that I shouldn't say that we haven't found any. We did find, there were some, but I had to make the bad decision to go out and look at them and see if they were her or not. None of them were her. So, sorry, that was gross. So she's still gone. So we lost our 16-year-old cat May 19th. May 16th. We lost Sally May 25th. Our other cat ran away July 11th. So we've lost 3 pets this year. And then I sent my husband a picture of the puppy, and he was like, yeah, what do we have to do to get her? Sent application into the rescue, and we are now fostering to adopt her. She's not officially ours. She won't officially be ours until she is spayed. Those are the conditions of the rescue, and that's perfectly understandable. They want responsible pet parents, and I agree with them 100%. So we got our little Sadie, and that's why we have her. And I'll cut to downstairs, and I will introduce you to Sadie. I'll throw in some pictures of her as well. But yeah, I'm out of a job again. I can still do hair, and I do hair from home because, oh yeah, another thing. I just, like all the crap that happened, it was happening at the same time, and I just keep forgetting all of it. The salon that I worked at permanently closed down because of COVID. So it is no longer in business. So during all of this, actually the day before I found out Sally was dying, I was working on building a salon in my house. It's just been that kind of year. So I lost one job permanently, and the other one I got to go back to. But I do hair from home currently. I can still do that right now. I don't know how long that's going to last, but currently right now we are... yeah, back at home all the time. Anyway, sorry about my sad, happy story. I'll give you a little rundown of my 2020 and what's been going on. And honestly, the only thing that kept me going throughout all of this garbage was YouTube. I was watching YouTube videos, and it was my escape. My one escape was YouTube. So I decided that was kind of what I wanted to start doing. I want to start working towards that, and I can keep doing that indefinitely, I guess. I don't plan on stopping. I got all these beauty subscription boxes anyway, so I might as well show you what I got in them, and I'll do some makeup tutorials and stuff. It's been a little crazy lately, but I do have a series that I want to work on, and yeah, I'm gonna shut up and introduce you to Sadie, and then at the end, stick around. I have a little video that is just kind of a memorial. It's Sally. If you want to watch it, great. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine too. But thanks for joining me, and you have a great day. Go do something nice for yourself, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Everybody decides to bark now, so of course, here we go. Anyway, everybody's been wanting to meet Sadie, and well, I mean, here she is. She's sleeping right now, so she's being a good dog, which doesn't normally happen. All right. Oh, she woke up. There she is. So she is a Great Pyrenees puppy. She is 11 weeks old, and she went to the vet the first time yesterday with us. She went when she was at the rescue. But she is about 21 pounds at 11 weeks old. So she's gotten pretty big. She was about 15 pounds when we got her almost 3 weeks ago. So she's being a good puppy now. She was a little devil earlier, running around and getting into everything. But this is her. She's so cute. Look at her little face. She's like, what are you doing to me, mother? But yeah, she's adorable. I'll show her all around her. She's got adorable little feet. Little feet. And I'll show you one thing about Great Pyrenees that is different than most dogs. And that is their back toes. Now they have 2 extra toes on their back feet because they're mountain dogs. She doesn't like it. And there they are. Yeah, 2 little extra toes on her back feet. Yeah, they're cute. And you have to keep them because they're bony. They're attached. So they would have some problems if you actually took those off. But anyway, that's Sadie. She's adorable. And thanks for watching. And I have a little featurette on Sally right after this. Have a great one. Bye.